In the quiet hours of a March evening in 2023, the serene atmosphere of South Point Apartments in Jackson, Mississippi would be shattered by gunshots, forever altering the lives of two families and igniting a crucial conversation about acceptance, identity, and justice in the American South. At the center of this tragedy stood Kiara Matthews, a 27-year-old certified nursing assistant whose life exemplified resilience and determination. Having recently graduated at the top of her class from Jackson Medical Training Institute, Kiara had overcome numerous obstacles to establish herself in the healthcare field, earning praise from instructors for her exceptional patient care skills and unwavering dedication. Before she was Kiara, she was born Keith Matthews in 1995, to James and Maria Matthews, a middle-class family who had relocated from Detroit to Mississippi when James accepted a position as a mechanical engineer at Nissan's Kenton plant. Maria, a registered nurse at St. Dominic Hospital, had always instilled the value of healthcare service in her children, including Kiara's younger sister, Jessica. Welcome to True Crime Stories Archive, your gateway into the chilling world of real-life horror. Here, we uncover the darkest corners of humanity, bringing you stories that will leave you questioning the depths of human nature. If you're new here, join our growing community by hitting subscribe. The Matthews family's story was one of gradual acceptance and unconditional love. When Kiara began her transition at age 22, her family's initial reservations transformed into steadfast support. She underwent hormone therapy at the University of Mississippi Medical Center's gender clinic, while maintaining employment at local nursing homes, earning consistent praise from both patients and colleagues at Woodland Terrace Care Center. March 10, 2023, marked what seemed to be another step forward in Kiara's journey. She created a profile on a popular dating application under the username KM95, sharing photos that captured her vibrant personality and describing her passions for healthcare, community service, and R&B music. Within hours, she received a message that would set in motion a chain of tragic events. The message came from user Tyler_D2000, later identified as Tyler Davis, a 22-year-old warehouse worker at Amazon's fulfillment center in Pearl, Mississippi. On the surface, Davis appeared to be an ordinary young man attempting to build a life in Jackson after relocating from Meridian 6 months prior. However, beneath this facade lay troubling indicators that would only become apparent after the tragedy. Though Davis worked nights at the Amazon warehouse and maintained a seemingly normal lifestyle in his one-bedroom apartment at the Pines complex, his coworkers later revealed disturbing patterns of behavior, particularly his derogatory comments about the LGBTQ+ community. His background included a dismissed misdemeanor charge for simple assault, a detail that would later take on haunting significance. The initial conversations between Kiara and Tyler spanned 5 days, accumulating 247 messages through the dating app's platform. Their exchanges remained light and flirtatious, focusing on shared interests in local entertainment and music. Tyler expressed genuine interest in Kiara's healthcare career while sharing his aspirations of becoming a truck driver. Throughout these conversations, Kiara's gender identity remained undiscussed. On March 15, at precisely 9:43 p.m., Tyler suggested what he termed a Netflix and chill evening at Kiara's apartment. Security footage would later capture his arrival in a Honda Civic, parking in the visitors section. What the cameras couldn't reveal was the contents of his backpack, a loaded Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9mm handgun, purchased legally from a local pawn shop 3 months earlier. The evening began innocuously enough. For approximately 40 minutes, they watched a movie together. Around 11:15 p.m., Jessica Matthews arrived at the apartment to drop off medical textbooks, planning only a brief visit. This timing would prove fateful. As the evening progressed to a more intimate setting in Kiara's bedroom around 11:20 p.m., the situation deteriorated with devastating speed. Upon discovering Kiara's transgender status, Tyler's reaction was instantaneous and brutal. The gun, which he would later claim was brought for protection, emerged from his backpack with deadly purpose. The violence that erupted in that bedroom would echo through the community for months to come. According to ballistics reports, 3 shots were fired at point-blank range. The first bullet struck Kiara's heart with lethal precision, while the second and third found their marks in her abdomen and shoulder. Dr. Robert Wilson, the medical examiner, would later testify that the initial shot proved immediately fatal. The horror wasn't over. Jessica Matthews, hearing the gunshots, rushed to her sister's aid, a decision that nearly cost her own life. Tyler, in what he later described as a state of panic, turned the weapon on Jessica, firing 2 more shots that struck her in the shoulder and abdomen. Security cameras captured Jessica stumbling into the hallway at 11:27 p.m., leaving a crimson trail as she sought help. Neighbors Michael Rodriguez and Sarah Thompson immediately alerted authorities upon hearing the gunshots. Rodriguez, drawing on his military medic training, provided critical first aid to Jessica while awaiting emergency services. The crime scene told a harrowing story. 5 spent shell casings littered the apartment floor, each matching Tyler's weapon. The bedroom bore witness to the struggle, overturned furniture and blood spatter patterns corroborating the sequence of events that would later emerge in Tyler's confession. Tyler fled the scene at 11:29 p.m., abandoning his backpack containing crucial evidence, his wallet, identification, and phone still displaying the dating app conversations. The first police units arrived at 11:33 p.m., with officers securing the scene and gathering witness statements. Emergency responders pronounced Kiara dead at 11:41 p.m., while Jessica was rushed to the University of Mississippi Medical Center by 11:45 p.m. Detective Sarah Martinez, a seasoned veteran of Jackson Police Department's Homicide Division with 12 years of experience, took charge of the investigation. The crime scene assessment revealed a complex case requiring meticulous forensic analysis and swift action to apprehend the suspect. As night turned to dawn, the investigation gained momentum. City traffic cameras tracked Tyler's escape route, showing him abandoning his car and acquiring a stolen bicycle with distinctive red paint and a missing rear reflector from behind a convenience store. The FBI's Jackson field office joined the investigation, with Special Agent Robert Turner bringing additional resources and expertise. Cell phone records revealed a brief call to a number in Pearl, Mississippi, leading investigators to Tyler's cousin, Mark Davis. Though Mark denied knowledge of Tyler's whereabouts, cell tower data suggested otherwise. The intensive manhunt involved multiple law enforcement agencies, including Jackson PD, Pearl PD, Hinds County Sheriff's Department, and the FBI. A dedicated tip line received over 100 calls in its first 6 hours of operation. K-9 units combed areas where Tyler had been spotted, while tactical teams maintained surveillance on potential hiding spots. The 36-hour manhunt for Tyler Davis concluded on March 17 when task force members, acting on an anonymous tip, discovered him hiding in an abandoned storage unit near Pearl, Mississippi. The joint team of Jackson Police Department Special Operations and FBI agents found him at 5:45 a.m., disheveled and exhausted, surviving on snack foods purchased before discarding his debit card. Upon arrest, Tyler offered no resistance, simply stating, "I knew you'd find me eventually." The storage unit revealed his makeshift bed of cardboard boxes, indicating no preparation for long-term evasion. Detective Martinez and FBI Special Agent Turner conducted the initial interrogation at police headquarters. Beginning at 8:30 a.m., the recorded interview revealed Tyler's detailed account of events leading to his fatal encounter with Kiara. He described their online interactions, emphasizing his attraction to her photos and personality, while maintaining he had no knowledge of her transgender status, though investigators noted he never asked questions about her background during their conversations. The most crucial segment of his confession came when describing the shooting. Tyler stated that upon discovering Kiara was transgender, he experienced what he called a psychological break. His description of shooting Jessica Matthews revealed an even more disturbing calculation, admitting he fired at her simply to eliminate a witness. During the 6-hour confession, Tyler displayed what psychologists would later identify as cognitive dissonance. While expressing remorse, he simultaneously attempted to justify his actions with statements like, "She should have told me," and "Any man would have reacted the same way." Dr. Linda Thompson's psychological evaluation confirmed his competency to stand trial while noting deeply ingrained prejudices and an inability to fully accept responsibility. The legal proceedings commenced on June 12, 2023, at the Hinds County Courthouse. District Attorney Robert Anderson led the prosecution team against Public Defender Michael Stewart. The charges included first-degree murder, attempted murder, possession of a firearm during a felony, and federal hate crime enhancements. The prosecution built their case on several key elements: the premeditated nature of the crime evidenced by Tyler bringing a weapon to the date, the brutality of the shooting, and his calculated attempt to eliminate Jessica as a witness. Assistant District Attorney Sarah Thompson's opening statement painted a devastating picture of the impact on both the Matthews family and the broader LGBTQ+ community. Dr. Robert Wilson's medical examiner testimony proved particularly damaging to the defense when he detailed how the first shot was precisely aimed at Kiara's heart, suggesting controlled rather than panicked action. Jessica Matthews delivered powerful testimony from her wheelchair, still recovering from her injuries, describing Tyler's chillingly calm demeanor as he turned the gun on her to eliminate witnesses. The defense strategy, led by Stewart, attempted to employ a trans-panic defense, bringing in psychologist Dr. James Parker to testify about acute stress reaction and temporary insanity. However, this strategy crumbled when prosecutors presented evidence of Tyler's previous anti-LGBTQ+ statements to coworkers. His testimony further unraveled during cross-examination when he failed to provide a convincing explanation for bringing a weapon to the date. After 4 days of testimony, Tyler unexpectedly agreed to a plea deal. The agreement included guilty pleas to first-degree murder and attempted murder, while prosecutors agreed not to pursue federal hate crime charges. Judge Kiara Matthews required Tyler to provide a full account of his actions in open court before accepting the plea. The July 3, 2023 sentencing hearing drew significant media attention, with the courthouse filled with LGBTQ+ advocates and Matthews family supporters. Maria and Jessica Matthews delivered emotional victim impact statements about their devastating loss and ongoing trauma. Judge Matthews delivered a powerful statement addressing the broader implications of the crime, explicitly rejecting the premise that discovery of someone's gender identity could justify violent reaction. The final sentence reflected the gravity of the crime: 50 years in prison with 20 years suspended and 30 years to serve, followed by 5 years of supervised release, including mandatory participation in anti-bias counseling and mental health treatment programs. The aftermath of Kiara Matthews' murder catalyzed significant changes throughout Jackson and beyond. Jessica Matthews, after extensive physical therapy at the University of Mississippi Medical Center, channeled her grief into action by establishing the Kiara Matthews Foundation. This organization focused on supporting transgender individuals in healthcare professions and advocating for LGBTQ+ safety in dating situations. By January 2024, the foundation launched its first initiative, a scholarship program for transgender individuals pursuing healthcare careers. Within 3 months, they raised over $150,000 and awarded 5 scholarships to aspiring healthcare professionals. Despite permanent mobility limitations from her injuries, Jessica emerged as a powerful voice for change, speaking at medical conferences and community events about the intersection of healthcare, transgender rights, and violence prevention. Her testimony before the Mississippi State Legislature supporting expanded hate crime protections garnered national attention and sparked renewed debate about legislative reform. The Jackson Medical Training Institute, where Kiara had excelled, implemented comprehensive diversity and inclusion training programs and established the annual Kiara Matthews Excellence in Healthcare Award. Local law enforcement underwent substantial changes as well. The Jackson Police Department created a specialized LGBTQ+ liaison unit, becoming a model for other departments across the Southeast. James and Maria Matthews transformed their grief into advocacy, sharing their journey of accepting and supporting their transgender daughter. Their story, featured in national publications, helped countless other families navigate similar experiences. Maria, drawing from her nursing background, developed support groups for parents of transgender children in Mississippi healthcare facilities. The community response manifested in concrete changes. Local businesses implemented non-discrimination policies. Major employers expanded healthcare coverage to include transgender-specific medical care, and even the Greater Bethlehem Temple Church established support groups for LGBTQ+ individuals and their families. Kiara Matthews' tragic death forced the community to confront its prejudices and sparked lasting change. While no amount of progress can compensate for the loss of a promising young healthcare worker and beloved daughter and sister, her legacy lives on through the lives she touched and the changes her story inspired. If you found this story moving and important, please consider subscribing to the True Crime Stories Archive. Your support helps us continue sharing these crucial stories that shine a light on issues affecting our communities. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below.